please welcome our final storyteller tonight, Baruch Porras Hernandez.
The Dixie. Okay, guys, so it's 2005. Kelly Clarkson has the hottest single out since you've been gone, and I didn't give a fuck. I was 25, and I had recently been dumped, so I was out to find love, or fuck, one or the other. It's Halloween. I'm at a Halloween party, dressed as myself, and I'm looking for an experience. I had been dating my entire life. If you look at me, I look like a pretty nice guy. My entire life, all of my boyfriends have been nice boys. Boys next door, Boy Scouts, milk and cookies kind of gentlemen. And I really wanted to be with a bad boy. I was like, it's time. All of my girlfriends were dating punk rock men, and I was like, I want a punk rock guy. Why can't I have a punk rock guy? My girlfriend's punk rock guy had been in prison. I was like, shit, prison. My other girlfriend's punk rock guy was in a band. I was like, wow, that's lame, but awesome. I mean, I didn't want to listen to punk rock music. I wanted to fuck someone who liked punk rock music. And the universe was like, here you go. Here's a pirate. Punk rock pirate was named Kurt. Kurt was a hot little thing, like this short, fit, little six-pack, amazing ass, ripped jeans, cut-off t-shirt that said fuck off, six-pack, piercings everywhere, one blue eye, because the only pirate part of his costume was the patch. And I wanted to get into his butt. His punk rock butt. Oh my God, I wanted to be in there. And I was drunk, and he was ska dancing by himself in the living room, so it was a match made in heaven. So I walk up to him and I'm like, hey, what's your name? And he was like, Yar. And I'm like, that works for me. So we start feeling each other up as we're dancing at this very heterosexual UC Berkeley party. All these little Asian kids were like, what are those guys doing? And so I'm like, no, really, what's your name? He reaches over and bites my lip, as hard as he can, and just bites it there. And I'm just like, oh my God, this hurts so much, but I love it. So we both get boners and start making out like crazy, to the point where I'm like, so what else do you want to do tonight? He's like, are you gonna keep talking or are you gonna fuck me? And I'm like, I'm a nice boy. So in my head I was like, ah! But what I said was like, yes, let's do this. So we start searching for a room. I'm like, ahoy. Turns out that 6 people lived in this fucking house, but only one of them was having the party. Every room we went into, we're like, can we fuck here? I'm trying to study. Can we fuck here? I'm trying to watch a movie. Can we fuck here? Why are you in my room? Just like, we're looking for a place to fuck. Oh my God, he's a pirate. Look at his ass. Oh my God. I hadn't gotten laid in a year, which really means 6 months, but in gay time, that's a year. That's a year, folks. Thank you. So I'm like, okay, let's go outside. He's like, yar. I'm like, oh, okay, keep that up. So we go outside. I'm like, all right, I haven't had sex outside before. Let's do this experience. Yeah, wild time. So we go outside, and everybody's outside, smoking, getting high, or puking. So he's like, fuck. I'm like, it's okay. I went to college, a problem solver. Side of the house. There's a little alleyway right there. So this is a huge house. There's all this darkness. Let's do this. He was like, yar. I'm like, yeah, let's go. So we go to the side of the house. We're making out. My hand goes down his pants. His hand goes down my pants. I'm like stroking his cock. It's huge and lovely. I'm just like, this is so amazing. He starts biting me a little bit, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, that's a little hard, but that's all right. I'm not a nice boy anymore. I'm a wild boy. And then he's like, bite me. I'm like, okay, nibble. You like that? He's like, no, bite me. I'm like, okay, nibble. He's like, no, really bite me. I'm like, oh, like how? So he bites me so fucking hard that I'm like, oh my God, what's wrong with you? What the, ow! Ow, what the fuck is wrong with you? And he just starts laughing like it's the funniest thing in the world. And I'm like, no, motherfucker, that hurt. What's wrong with you? And then we hear, excuse me, my family and I are trying to have dinner. And we turn, and it turns out that the other house had a fence this high. And the father, mother, grandmother, and little kids were all trying to have a nice barbecue dinner with candles and mosquito lights. One of the little girls were like, those guys are gay! The old woman's like, one of them's a pirate. So we get the fuck out of there. We're in my car. I'm like, all right, where are we gonna fuck? Your place? He's like, nah, dude, I got roommates. Fuck, roommates, okay. He's like, your place? I'm like, I just graduated from college. I live with my mother. She does not let me bring boys home. I just felt so, like, why'd you say that? You're with Punk Rock Boy. He's gonna think you're lame. I'm like, damn it. So we're driving around. I'm like, all right, it's the East Bay. I'm like, hey, let's go to Indian Rock. I'll totally fuck you in Indian Rock. Dude, that's so high school. Okay, Tilden Park, man, in the woods. Yeah, Tilden Park. He's like, dude, that's so last year. That's so last year. I'm like, what? Albany Beach? Where do you want to do this? And he's like, you know what I've always wanted to do? What? Break into someone's house and fuck on their bed. So he's like, drive around. We're going to find a place and you're going to fuck me in this house. And I'm just like, in my head, I'm like, you fucking crazy bitch. No! But I wanted to be cool for Punk Rock Boy, so I'm like, oh yeah. Oh, we're totally gonna do this as I'm driving around fucking Berkeley. And he's like, that house. I'm like, oh no, not that house. In my head, I'm like, what the fuck am I gonna do? I don't wanna get arrested, but I really wanna get laid. So I'm like trying to talk him out of it. I'm like, hey, maybe we should just, go to a parking lot somewhere. So he takes my hand and he puts it behind him and down his pants. And he's like, do you want that tonight or what? And I'm like, yeah, yes. So I remembered, my friend Rachel said to me, I'm going out of town to visit my grandmother. If you live with your mother, if you need a place to come and hang out, my house is your house. So I'm like, yes, Rachel's house. I'm like, hey, let's go to Albany. So we drive to Albany. I'm like, hey, what about this house? He's like, yeah, let's do it. Let's do this house. And I'm like, oh, I've totally never been here before. Let's go out the back way, in the back way. Let's go up these stairs. Oh, it was unlocked. Ooh, who knew? And he was like, how did you know it was going to be unlocked? Oh, hey, let's go upstairs, yeah. And he's like, all right, let's go in here. I'm like, oh, no, it's the office. How do you know it's the office? Because it's a short door and it's Albany. Shut the fuck up. Let's go this way. So we go to Rachel's room. And we take our clothes off, and I'm ready to just go at this guy. But there was a problem. He tells me he's a kitty. What? I'm a kitty. I thought you were a pirate. A punk rock. Wait, what? So he goes, I'm like, haha, okay, how about a blowjob? So he pounces me, and he goes, wow! And he starts scratching me, and I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? He starts biting, he's like, I'm a kitty, wow! And I'm like, get the fuck away from me! He starts scratching me everywhere. I'm grabbing his hands. I'm trying to wrestle him. He's biting me. I see all these little red cuts all over my body. This guy was fucking insane. I didn't live in San Francisco yet. I didn't know that there was people who did this. I didn't know it was part of a culture. So I finally wrestle him to the ground because I'm afraid this motherfucker's gonna rip my throat off. And I finally overpower him, and that's when he goes limp. And I'm like, did I kill Punk Rock Pirate? Who's a kitty? And he goes, and I'm like, you've gotta be fucking kidding me. He's like, you gotta pet the kitty. I was like, this is my fucking life. You have got to be, I should have been straight. Should have been straight. He's like, you get a prize. Yeah, you want to fuck Kitty, don't you? Yes, I want to fuck Kitty. I was like, my boner half an hour ago was like, But then he shows me his ass, opens it, winks at me a little bit, so we start to fuck. And he's like, call me a kitty. I'm like, yeah, you're a kitty. Call me a kitty. I'm like, yeah, you're a kitty. He's like, meow. I'm like trying to just like finish. I'm like, oh yeah, this is amazing. Oh yeah. He's like, spank me. I'm like, he's like, spank me. I'm like, okay, you're a bad kitty. You're a bad kitty. And he's like, fucking spank me. I'm like, like as hard as I can, like it hurts my hand. He finally shoots. I finally come. I fall on top of him. We're out of breath. He's like, wow, that was really great. Thank you so much for having that experience with me. I'm like putting my clothes on. I'm like, yeah, okay, that's great. You're a great guy, but I think you're fucking crazy. He's like, oh, you just had a good time with Kitty. I'm like, let's go. It's time to go. I wanted to get out of Rachel's house. I at least had gotten laid. We're coming down the stairs, and then I hear the words, Baruch, why the fuck are you in my house? I go, hi, Rachel. Rachel had not left for the weekend. Her grandmother had come to visit. So her grandmother was there, her mother and her dad, who had been trying to call 911. Rachel goes, get the fuck out of my house. She didn't talk to me for a year. I'm like, okay, Rachel, I'm really, really sorry. She was like, get the fuck out of my house! I'm like, okay, I'm so sorry. You said I could do, she was like, we went for a night walk and came back and listened to all of it! All of it! This is my grandmother! So Punk Rock Pirate, or Kitty, is like quiet, and we're like inching out of her house, and as we leave, her grandmother goes, which one's the kitty? Thank you, guys.
Baruch